Hello, my name's Suzanne Meadows and I've been the lead for the implementation of revalidation for nurses and midwives in the Trust. The Nursing and Midwifery Council decided to implement a process called revalidation for the renewal of registrations. Our first registrants renewed using this new process in April 2016. Having spoken to a number of people about this, there has been some initial anxiety about the process, so I thought it would be useful to share the experiences of some of your colleagues who've already undergone renewal of their registration through revalidation.
I think before I started, I was a little anxious about where to even start, really.
Before I started to compile a portfolio, it was a gentle cynicism.
When I heard that revalidation was coming into process, I'll be perfectly honest, panic was my initial feeling until I got stuff through from the RCN, the NMC, and then I had a meeting within the Trust which was all set up as part of the first group. Then things were a little bit easier.
Anything that's change really is a little bit anxiety provoking. So the first thing was to really find out a bit more about it. I went on the website for the NMC and actually that's very helpful and very straightforward, the guidance on there. And I found that once I'd looked on there, actually I felt quite a lot better that it wasn't a massive undertaking that we had to do. So the first thing I did was register on NMC online, and that gave me obviously a way in, and I could start creating things.
I did it in sections. I did it in the chronological order that it appears on the NMC website. I started with page 1 and I just systematically went through it. Some sections you absolutely fly through, they're just self-evident, you know, it's just biographical details, etc.
Documents that you had to put your information on for your reflective learning and for your actual hours of practice was very, very clear, and sticking to those headings kept you quite focused.
As nurses we're continually doing professional development all the time, so actually when I actually sat down and thought what have I done in these last few years, there was actually a lot of things and I had lots more than actually I needed, and I think the majority of nurses will find the same.
The biggest challenge I felt initially anyway was getting evidence of feedback, and that caused me some anxiety initially because I wasn't sure whether I actually had that evidence that people had actually fed back to me. But actually when I started looking through emails, just reflecting on work that I'd done, as well as the appraisal feedback that I'd had, I realised that actually I did have some, you know, really good feedback that I could use.
A lot of nurses, you know, have been out of nursing school for a long time and perhaps haven't done lots of academic work as such. And I think for lots of people it's probably quite scary to think, oh gosh, you know, I've got to do a reflective piece, what does that mean? The forms are very straightforward and you've got a framework there. It makes it very easy because you're not having to write a big essay, you're just writing small points about what you've learned, what you've taken from it and how you've helped the ward and where that fits in with the code. And it's actually quite simple.
The confirmers discussion was actually quite straightforward, and by the time I came to my confirmers interview I had everything in place, so it was really just a matter of going through it, making sure my confirmer was happy with the evidence that I had, and just ticking it all off.
So my confirmer was my line manager, and it was just really an informal discussion as such, just to make sure everything was as it should be.
Once I found out that I was going to be a confirmer and what my role would be, I went onto the NMC site just to have a look at what it involved, and also the intranet site, and both of them were really very informative and there was lots of information there. The first person that I had was really organised. She contacted me and said, can I meet with you? And she came with all her evidence already. The only thing she hadn't done was actually talk through all our reflective diaries. So we had to do that part of the process. That does take a bit of time. In moving forward, if people already come with the discussions already signed off, it will make things quicker. The staff that you're going to confirm for, contact and let them know that you're going to be the confirmer, what's expected of them, and try and arrange a date to meet then and go through what they need to do, so that when they do get to nearer the time of actually those having to revalidate, everything's already ready. Preparation, I think, is the key.
I think the advice I would have for others is just to start it, just do it, just go through each section, go through the process, and it's actually quite straightforward. It's quite simple.
My advice for other people would be, don't worry. I think it's natural to worry when something changes and something new is expected of you, but actually this is a really straightforward process.
Get on the NMC website early and you'll find it's really, I think the phrase is navigate around it. It's really quite easy. When you see that and you realise what's required of you, it's not as threatening as I initially believed it to be.
Don't be fazed by it. Don't be daunted. It's not a big deal. It's important. It's crucial that we do it for obvious reasons. Providing you've got all the information and you've done the work, it's not a problem.
The Nursing and Midwifery Council don't mind if you keep your portfolio electronically or on paper. The key take-home messages are: start today. Your portfolio will develop over 3 years, and each year you will review your progress on ESR and with your manager at your annual appraisal. All of the resources that you need are on the NMC's Revalidation website, and there are resources on the Trust intranet. Good luck.